Tom Homan handled this like a masterclass, and at the end of the video, he drops a bomb that I have never, ever heard before. I had to dress up nice for it, put on a collared shirt, first time. It's itsSeanDaniel here. Get ready.
Sir. Mr. Homan, last week ICE arrested 11 Iranians who passed through border during Biden administration. One of them was a sniper for the Iranian army. The other one while he was arrested, he had firearms on him. Given the fact that the Iranian American community are feeling threatened by the regime from Iran, can you confirm that there will be further crackdown on illegal Iranians who've passed the border during Biden administration?
Well, so far there's over 200 arrests of Iranian nationals. And again, President Trump committed from day one, the priority is going to be public safety threats and national security threats. So we've been on this since January 20th. We didn't wait for the Iran conflict to happen. We've been working this, but we put our foot on the gas after what happened in Iran a couple weeks ago. We're going to identify the national security threats. It's just not ICE, it's FBI, it's Department of Justice and the intelligence community. We're focusing on national security threats, not just Iranians and others, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're keeping President Trump's promise. That's what we were prioritizing.
There's widespread fear among...
If you're in the country legally, you should be concerned. It's not okay to be in the country illegally. If you're a national security threat, you should be working. We're looking for you.
But there's widespread fear among Iranian Americans that some sleeper cells have moved into the United States during the Biden administration. What do you know about these so-called sleeper cells?
All Americans should be concerned about sleeper cells. Look, under the Biden administration, you open the border. We got over 2 million known gotaways. That's not a guess. Over 2 million people we know based on video, drone traffic, sensor traffic, cross the border. They paid more to get away. We know who they are, where they came from, where they are now, why they're here, right? So why did 2 million people pay more to get away? You pay the cartel amount of money to get to the border, turn yourself in a green uniform, right? Or you pay more to get to New York, Chicago, and not be arrested. Why? Why didn't they pay less to get a free airline ticket to the city of their choice, a free hotel room, 3 meals a day, free medical care, and work authorization in a few months? Why did 2 million people not take advantage of the free giveaway program, pay more to get away?
So are you saying that
because they didn't want to be
information on
vetted,
that?
they didn't want to be fingerprinted. They could be the ones that are trafficking in fentanyl, they could be ones trafficking women and children, and they could be national security threats.
Sir,
I said from day one, the Biden administration, I said for 4 years while he was president, when they opened the border up, they created the biggest national security vulnerability we've ever seen. And that's just a fact, and we're seeing it play out.
What nefarious things are these 2 million gotaways up to? What was their plans? What was their reason for evading so many benefits? If you were going to go to a country, if you had such a bad setup back home, and you were going to be able to go to a country, first of all, that just has amazing opportunity for you, freedoms, way of life, entrepreneurship, job opportunities, and then you were going to get free money in the hopes of eventually having a work visa, but you're going to get free money, free place to stay, and you're from a bad, bad country. Wouldn't you take that if all you had to do was check in with the Border Patrol? Yeah? So why do you guys think, in the comments, let me know, why do you think a lot of those gotaways paid more with the cartels to evade Border Patrol and to evade all those benefits?
Fatwa. There's a fatwa issued by 2 of the Iranian ayatollahs against President Trump, citing that if he attacks the supreme leader of Iran, it would be halal for Shiite followers to kill him, to assassinate him. Are you aware of that fatwa, and what's your response to it?
Look, it's a little out of my lane, but we got the strongest president in history of this country in office right now. So I don't think that worked out very well for him.
So are there a Marine station right now in the San Diego area helping with border protection? If encounters have dropped as dramatically as we know that we've seen the numbers drop, why is it necessary for a Marine presence to be there near the San Diego border?
Because it's a national security issue right now. I think we all recognize the national security temperature right now is at a high level. We're going to take every opportunity we can to secure that border and make sure we don't do what Biden administration did and let the gotaways. Let me give you, for example, having those resources on the border now, on an average day under Biden administration, we had 1,800 gotaways that we knew of, that we counted in 1,800. You know what they were today? 18. So we got that border locked down.
So then why is it necessary for the Marine presence to be there in addition to the regular border
So there's less gotaways. The more resources we have, the more people we stop from coming in the country. Especially right now during national security, the vulnerability we have right now with Iran and other countries, I'd rather have too many resources than not enough. Because once you make that mistake, there's no going back.
I can't believe they always use that question and that stupid line of logic. When the border's secure, why send more down there? To intimidate and back off more illegals? I know this is good, but wait till the end of the video where Tom Homan drops something he said he's never shared before about illegal immigration.
Thank you. Can you talk about that a little bit further in light of the July 4th holiday and what security threats are being watched right now, concerns about sleeper cells or other things that have been in the...
Like the DHS put out a threat assessment 2 weeks ago, I agree with that. We are in heightened alert status right now, so every American needs to keep your eye open. Again, there's several places to report suspicious activity. You go to the DHS hotline and report it there. But look, today we have the most secure border in the history of this nation. You can have some comfort of that. But the reason we have the most secure border in the history of this nation is because of President Trump's policy and having DOD assets assist Border Patrol on the border. That's why we have that most secure border, which is why we need the big, beautiful bill passed. Because that puts more Border Patrol agents on the border, maybe relieve DOD assets. That puts more ICE agents on the streets of this country to arrest more public safety threats and national security threats. I looked at numbers this morning. Over 200 Iranian nationals have been arrested by ICE and brought in. With more resources, we do more than national security work across the country. But right now, we got well over 20 million illegal aliens in this country. We got less than 5,000 deportation officers. We need the bill to get more agents on the street. We need more detention beds because everybody arrested needs to be a bed before they get removed. And more contract work so badges and guns who have immigration authority aren't sitting at a desk doing keystrokes on some administrative duty that can be done by a contract to put that badge and gun on the street to look for these national security threats. Big, beautiful bill is important. We need that passed right away.
Was that not the greatest sales job you've ever seen about the big, beautiful bill? I've watched a lot of videos on that, and that's probably the most convincing thing I've seen about why this bill should get passed. You guys think the same thing? I thought that was impressive.
A quick question for you. There are reports of a 75-year-old Cuban national who died in ICE custody. He had lived in the United States for 60 years. He was being held in ICE detention in Florida. Is there anything you can tell us about that? There's still not a lot of information, how he died.
I'm unaware of that. I'm not aware of that. Okay. I mean, people die in ICE custody. People die in county jails. People die in state prisons. I mean, if you look at, when I was ICE director and we drilled down that, the question should be how many lives does ICE save? Because when they go in detention, we find many with diseases and stuff that we deal with right away to prevent that. So I'm not aware of that specific case, but I'll say this. People can argue with me all they want, but the facts are the facts. I think that politicians in New Jersey found this out, that we have the highest detention standards in the industry. I'll compare an ICE detention facility against any state prison, against any federal facility. I'll go head to head with any of them. You go to ice.gov and look at our detention standards. It's the highest detention standards in the industry at a very expensive cost to the taxpayers. So, people say, oh, the detention standards are horrendous. Go look for yourself, then come back and talk to me. I mean, when we talked about the facility that the congressman tried to get into up in New Jersey, Delaney Hall, once they got in there, what did they find out? Detention standards are outstanding. Probably the cleanest facility in that entire state. Again, I'll put our detention standards against anybody.
This is why he has to be so sharp in so many of his interviews, and even why we have to be sharp when we watch these interviews and when we talk to people. Because the media, just like regular liberals in everyday life, will use one death in a facility or in a program or one bad thing happening to try to tell you that it's entirely bad altogether. But that's a great point. How many lives have been saved because of ICE?
Sure, we'll follow up on that. When the big, beautiful bill does pass, how do you expect that to impact the number of deportations per day? Will it be twofold, threefold?
Vastly increased. Depends how quick we get more resources on, how quick we get the contractors on, how quick we bring the beds on. I mean, Governor DeSantis, I give him credit. We got the facility he's putting up in Florida. We'll be filling those beds as quick as we can because we need more beds. I mean, I looked at this morning. I think we got like 1,700 empty beds. We'll fill them in 2 days. So we need more beds. That bill is going to let us sign contracts that are pending for more beds. We don't have the funding to do it. Once that bill passes and the money comes to the Department of Homeland Security, we can sign some of this contract and get more beds right away.
And on the big, beautiful bill, Mr. Homan, if you don't mind, thank you so much for doing this and just speak with us. We know that President Trump is visiting Alligator Alcatraz tomorrow in Florida. Can you tell us more about what what message it sends and how it relates to the administration's push right now with the big, beautiful bill?
We're going to enforce the immigration law. Despite all the rhetoric out there against ICE and the men and women who are doing this job, we're going to be out doing their job. We're going to be doing our job. We're going to arrest every public safety threat, national security threat we can find. And when we do that, we need a bed. Governor DeSantis is coming forth with a couple thousand beds. I applaud him for doing it. And it's a pretty good cost, too, if you look at the total cost of that bill. Money that used to go to NGOs, put somebody in a hotel room at $500 a night, will help fund these facilities. And here's what you need to know that no one talks about. Facilities that we contract through, like the Governor DeSantis facility, when you're in an ICE contract facility, you get a hearing and a judge within 40 days. But under the Biden administration, they put them in custody of an NGO, put them in a hotel room at $500 a night, because they know doing that would push your hearing out 3, 5, 7 years, because immigration judges prioritize those in detention. So they play the long game. Let's leave thousands of empty ICE beds already paid for. Let's leave them empty. Let's give these people to NGOs. That pushes a hearing out 3, 5, 7 years. What happens then? Whether hoping happens then, there's a Democratic administration that awards amnesty to millions of people. That's not going to happen. We're going to force laws in this country. People are going to get hearings quicker. And if anybody goes and look at EOIR website, Immigration Court website, here's what the message no one gets across. You can claim asylum in this country. If you go the last 10 years of Immigration Court data, nearly 9 out of 10 people who claim asylum get an order removal because they simply don't qualify for asylum. They're not escaping fear and persecution from the homeland because of race, religion, political affiliation. They're coming here for a better life, and I get that, but that's not asylum. We're enforcing laws, and the great success we're having proves you enforce the law, you can secure the border. You enforce the law, you can make this country safe again. That's what we're doing.
Did you guys know that? That one of the reasons these NGOs, New York City, these sanctuary cities, put these illegals in these nice fancy hotels is so they can delay when they're going to get their asylum hearing in front of a judge? I have never heard that. Oh my God. That makes so much sense. Let alone how much more money we're spending to house these people, because the NGOs get a lot of money from the government as well. That is a bombshell. And you know what that also tells you is how many NGOs, people that run those NGOs, are now pissed that we are not helping fund those NGOs, that we are not giving them opportunities for new bodies for those NGOs to house in hotels, so that those NGOs can then get more government money, get more donations from people, and pocket that money for themselves, which I'm sure some of it they do. You're telling me the people who run those NGOs aren't making a killing off of that? That's huge. It's SeanDaniel here. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider liking or subscribing for more. I'll put another Tom Homan video right here, and I'll see you in the next one. First collared shirt video for SeanDaniel. Wow. Who is this fancy guy?